All right, folks, welcome back inside the janitor's closet for another week of NFL betting. I am Bryce Hunt, joined as always by football expert Josh Frey-Sam. Josh, we had a stinker last week. There's no hiding from it. We never tried to 1-4-1 in our week 7 bets, but it does move our record to 20, 14, and 2, just about 59%, just below 60. We're obviously trying to be in the 65-70 range, but there's still a lot of time to climb back up to that number.
Yeah, you said it, Bryce. No hiding from it. It was a stinker, and listen, that's part of the betting. Was really down on ourselves last week, but you said it, that's just part of the game, right? You're gonna have some of those. That was kind of our worst week, and so like honestly, it's just hopefully we just get go up from here. It's as simple as that. Got to be better, and we plan on being better going forward.
It's part of the industry and it's going to happen. Thankfully, we've been able to avoid the goose egg so far this year, which we plan to do and continue for the rest of the year. But we have 4 plays that we are ready to stop dwelling on the week 7 bets. We're moving right into week 8, next man up mentality. That's part of the industry. You have to have a short memory. And
Yep.
we have 4 plays to get to for week 8 in the NFL season. But before we do, folks, if you could give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, leave a comment down below. Helps us out a great amount. We look forward to making all this content for you every week. And with that being said, let's get into our plays in week 8. And when you're down and in a rut, sometimes you have to go back to some of your best sources of income, some of the best teams. Maybe you have a team that can get you out of a whole slump buster, if you will. And we have kind of a reverse slump buster, as there's been a little bit of a common theme in the early going on this channel. We're going to get back to it. You might know where we're going with this one, but we're starting with Houston and Carolina.
Yeah, man, we are instead of we're getting back on the horse, and by getting back on the horse, we are getting back down on those Carolina Panthers. Pause, resume. We're gonna go Houston Texans -3 in order to get out of this one for us here. Houston Texans -3. We got the I gotta recollect myself after that one. We got 2 plays in this game, actually, I should say. Houston Texans -3. And we're gonna also take the over 43.5 in this game. I'm not. It's kind of interesting looking at this game, like the spreads, just kind of like why are the Houston Texans only -3 here? You got a winless Carolina Panthers team, but they're coming off a bye. Both teams are coming off a bye. I think that both quarterbacks are going to be really eager here, right? Like Bryce Young is coming off a bye. The Carolina Panthers obviously hungry to get that first win of the season, get that monkey off their back. And then on the other side, I mean, CJ Stroud is going to be just salivating, I'm sure, to prove to people like I should have been that number one quarterback selected in this draft, right? So with that being said, I do think that both quarterbacks are going to have a nice day here. Injury wise, really important to note that's going to work in favor of the over here and also the Houston Texans spread. On the Houston side of the ball, you got Robert Woods out of this game, but Tank Dell is back in after missing a game or two there with the concussion. On the Carolina side, Brian Burns, their big time edge rusher, best player on the defense side of the ball, did not participate in practice on Friday with an elbow injury. Frankie Louvu, limited participation all week with a hip injury, and Von Bell is out, that safety. So the blows just keep coming to the Carolina Panthers defense. I think CJ Stroud has a nice day. I think Nico Collins has a nice day in this game. I think that the Houston Texans defense has been good enough in order to cover a spread on the road here off the bye. But at the same time, I think the Carolina Panthers defense are going to do enough in order to push this game over here. So I like both the Houston Texans on the road here and the over 43.5.
You mentioned that these two quarterbacks are going to kind of be pinned up against each other for the rest of their careers as who comes out as the better selection in that draft. This
Yeah.
is going to be their first matchup, and we're going to take the Texans. And CJ Stroud's played a little bit better to this point in his career.
Yeah.
So those first 2 plays will be the Texans -3 and the over 43.5. as we go to the two teams that are playing in New York. We mentioned it before, they're not playing in New York, but we have the Jets and Giants here, Josh, meeting at MetLife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would like to say it's a good one, but with these two teams, it's well, we'll see, I guess, if it is actually going to be a good one. You got the New York Jets coming off a bye, and you've got the New York Giants, who are really banged up, especially along the offensive line. It's going to be interesting to see. Like Saquon Barkley is probably going to play, but does he, he's going to be gutting through an elbow injury. And then, their offensive line is like completely gutted right now. So I don't really, and then Daniel Jones is already marked out, listed out. So it's Tyrod Taylor, a banged up Saquon Barkley, a banged up offensive line going up against a ferocious New York Jets defense. And then on the other side, the New York Jets have actually found a little bit of rhythm as of late. But I don't know if I can quite depend on Zach Wilson led offense just yet. I don't know if they showed me enough. With that being said, we're actually it's a scary number to take, but we're going to take the under 35 and a half in this game. I just don't there's going to be rain in this game, likely some rain as well. The weather's not going to be great. Both of these offenses aren't terrific. The defense on New York Jets side is good. I just don't really like the way this thing is shaping up for anything significant. Like it could end in a 20-10 game, right? And I think like a lot of people would be like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a fair score or something like that, or a 20-13 kind of game. And it's just like that's fine. We would still hit this. So I think that I'm confidently going to say let's take the under 35 and a half here. Just hoping for an ugly one. I think it is going to be an ugly one.
Yeah, you mentioned the rain, the high winds, the New York Jets, which is already a great defense, getting some pretty notable players back for this week. It looks like, and two quarterbacks who probably couldn't take the top off you in a dome. If we're being honest with it, we've seen some flashes from Garrett Wilson, but nothing that we've come to expect when he would have been working with Aaron Rodgers that we would have suspected at the start of the year. So
Right.
we are going to be taking the under 35 and a half as we move to our last play. As I mentioned, the dome, that's where we're heading with Vegas and Detroit here, Josh.
We are on fire this episode, man. All right, yes, Raiders at Detroit Lions, Monday Night Football. I think this is actually going to be a good one. Like I think Detroit's going to win this game. They're coming off a stinker. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna. This is going to be a really good offensive showing for the Detroit Lions here against. You probably couldn't ask for a better get right game for the Detroit Lions here in prime time, at home. So. But the spread is a little too big for my liking. I think that we're going to hold off of that. Rather, let's go over 46 in this game. Detroit offense, I think, is like I mentioned, going to have a really nice bounce back game. Obviously, they were absolutely crushed. I'm sure you like that to watch that one, Bryce, against your Baltimore Ravens last week. I think Detroit Lions offense is going to have a nice bounce back here. And then the Las Vegas Raiders are also getting Jimmy Garoppolo back. Devontae Adams has been, complaining lately. Just get me the ball. Like, you got to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Josh Jacobs is still looking to find his groove, right? I think that with having Jimmy Garoppolo back, this offense, I don't know if they're going to do enough to beat the Detroit Lions. I don't think they will. But I do think they're going to do enough to push this game over 46 points. And I expect the Detroit Lions offense to do the heavy lifting here. But I think Las Vegas Raiders offense does just enough against a Detroit defense that obviously had a tough go of things just a week ago. I think that Jimmy G is going to be able to get this offense up and down the field a little bit better than we've seen in recent weeks. So over 46 here in prime time. Let's hope for a good one on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jimmy G return. Detroit kind of couldn't get settled into their offensive, really too deep into their offensive playbook last week.
Yeah.
So look for them with all the weapons they have to get loose. And that's going to be our play at over 46 as we recap. Only 4 plays this week, but we like them a lot. We just mentioned Vegas, Detroit over 46, Jets and Giants under 35 and a half. And Houston at Carolina, we have the Texans -3 and the over 43 and a half. Josh, it's time to get back to our winning ways here.
Yes, sir, it is. And I should also let me just plug the X account here at TJC Bets. Give us a follow there because we've been looking at, you and I, Bryce, we were talking about just before coming on here some prop bets, potential prop bets. So listen, we're going to continue to weigh those. And we're gonna potentially drop a couple prop bets that we like here on X, and also weighing a couple of other picks potentially as well. So give us a follow there. We've had some decent success on X with the free picks that we give out on there. So be sure to give us a follow there, and hopefully we can add a couple more winners to the record.
Absolutely. A couple plays we were looking at didn't make the big show. Doesn't mean they won't be plays for this week. Keep it locked on there. Keep it locked on the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to bringing you this content next week as we say goodbye for now. Happy betting. Bet responsibly, folks. Let's do it again next week.